Okay, so in this video we are going to be discussing genetics of Texas rat snakes. It was asked of me in one of the videos, and so I tried to explain it in text, but I'm no good at it. So let's just go ahead and talk about it in this video and hopefully clear up some of those questions. Okay, so what they were asking about was mixing the scaleless Texas rat snakes with a leucistic Texas rat snake, and they were just curious as to what the babies would be and how they could eventually get a leucistic scaleless Texas rat snake. Now, I am going to be speaking in complete layman's terms. By no means am I trying to impress anybody with the knowledge that I have. I am simply trying to answer this question in a manner that I hope that many people can understand, and because I like things broken down simply to me as well, and so that's what I'm going to try to do in this video. So for those who are already typing away at the keyboard complaining, there's my response to you. So when it comes to recessive traits, what you have to remember is, okay, as I'm editing this video, I realized I forgot to add something very important, especially if you don't know what the word het means. Again, in layman's terms, it means that the animal genetically carries the look scaleless or leucistic, but it doesn't visually express it. We can't see it, but we know in its DNA that it's there. So, and then we're also going to be talking about it being expressed visually. So I just need to add that in here real quick before we get rolling, and I think I can just edit the rest as far as text on the screen, I hope. But let's get back to the video. Is to get the babies to express the trait that you want. For instance, a scaleless Texas rat snake, both mom and dad have to be scaleless or at least 100% het for scaleless in order for them to produce a scaleless baby. So the leucistic mutation is also a simple recessive, so therefore in order to get more of those you need both mom and dad to have the genes, right? So if you want to produce a scaleless leucistic Texas rat snake, I mean, obviously the first thing the easiest way would be to have both mom and dad be a scaleless leucistic Texas rat snake. But what if you don't have that? What if the scenario that was asked was the gentleman has a leucistic Texas rat snake and he's looking to get a scaleless in the near future, and wanted to breed them because his ultimate goal is to combine both those into one animal. So that way he can get scaleless leucistic Texas rat snakes. So with what he already has, and bearing that there is no hets, if he breeds his leucistic to a scaleless, all those first generation babies are going to be normals, and they are going to be 100% het for both scaleless and leucistic. So in order for them to try to reclaim both those, they're going to have to keep a male and a female of those babies and then breed those back to each other. That will be one way to get there. If there is hets, which I suppose there probably isn't, because neither of these two are bred so heavily that the hets are lost. Usually people know exactly what they've got. Now, like let's say in corn snakes, there's a lot of hidden het genes because they have been bred so much by so many people, and people don't keep good full records on exactly what they're mixing. So a lot of times in corn snakes you can have hidden genes that you didn't know you had, that the breeder didn't know was in the mix. But Texas rat snakes aren't bred heavily, so you're going to pretty much know whether or not it's het for it or not. So that's how you're going to get them. Now, of course, there's other ways of doing it. But remember that mom and dad both have to have the gene in order to give it to the babies. Because both mom and dad need to contribute that mutation for the baby to occur. Okay, so another way to achieve this ultimate goal of combining the leucistic and the scaleless together is this. And this is probably the way I would go about it. You already own the leucistic, so we can't do nothing more with that one because that's what you have. The next animal you purchase obviously has to be scaleless, but I would purchase a scaleless 100% het for leucistic. The reason being is this is going to fast track your ability to produce scaleless leucistic Texas rat snakes. And that's going to happen because when you breed those two together, so both sides are going to give the leucistic gene. The one leucistic parent is going to give it 100%, and the het parent, even though it's 100% het, I think it's like 1 in 4 will be leucistic. So a quarter of your babies are going to be leucistic. And with the other parent being a scaleless, he is going to, or she is going to give 100% that scaleless gene to all the babies. So what you will then want to do is keep any leucistic baby that comes out. And what happens with those leucistic babies is they are 100% het for scaleless. So you now have, combined at least the leucistic as a visual animal, and now it's 100%, just like its parent. And then what you can do, it's actually the opposite of its parent. It's leucistic 100% het for scaleless, where the one parent will be scaleless 100% het leucistic. What you then can do, if it works out, keep the baby that's the opposite sex of your scaleless and then simply breed that parent back to the baby. I know it sounds horrible, but you can get away with that in reptiles. Just don't do it repeatedly year after year. And what's going to happen is then in your second pairing, you're improving your odds of hitting a scaleless leucistic Texas rat snake. And again, this is all about the odds. Even if I threw up the numbers, like I mentioned earlier, like 1 in 4, really that's calculated odds. But Mother Nature, she does her own thing sometimes, and just because it's supposed to be 1 in 4 doesn't mean that's what you're actually going to get. Those are just mathematical numbers to give people the feeling like they have some type of control over this. Okay, so this part might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but it is my opinion, and I thought I'd just share this out there. If you agree, great. If not, no harm, no foul. But me personally, if I am buying breeding stock of animals, I stay away from the 50% hets and the 66% hets. And if you have to buy a recessive gene in a het form, always buy it in 100% form, because you're just going to, you're more likely to grab that het gene and produce it into, you know, the visible gene that you want to capture anyways. Not saying that, you know, 50% and 66 aren't bad, but obviously just by the number's sake, you know, 50 is half of 100, so you know you're cutting your chances in half of producing that baby already. And 66, well, you're just slightly above 50, so I mean that there in itself should be enough. I know it's tantalizing because a lot of times the 50 and the 66 are considerably cheaper than the 100%, but in my opinion they're often too much. Even like they should be priced more toward what a normal would be. But anyways, that's my opinion. And how they came about the 60, 66 and the 50% het. In simple layman's terms, when I see 50%, what that tells me is either mom or dad was 100% het for the gene, right? So then the 66% het, that tells me that both mom and dad were het for it, but neither one of them together didn't throw their hets onto that baby to produce what it is I'm looking for, a leucistic Texas rat snake. So in my opinion, you know, and it's just simply my opinion, if you're really trying to produce something sooner than later and you know you can afford the little bit extra, either buy it visual form, buy it in het form. But with your situation where you already own one parent, the leucistic, and you're going to buy the scaleless, simply just hold on to some of your babies, raise them up, and either breed them back to each other or buy outside source that are also 100% hets. If it's just a first generation of inbreeding, your snakes will be perfectly fine. From what I'm told, you can probably go up to 3 times, but I like to outcross by then. But I mean, that's a couple years down the line. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope I answered your questions. If not, go ahead and just answer away down below, and I will try to explain it a little bit further and help you get there to understanding. But thanks for watching, thanks for the questions, and until next time, later.
Shut up and sit down.